Hey guys, so today I'm going to help you with the z-score assignment using the information that you got from the assignment. So here's just for the female population, the height, mean, standard deviation, length of hand, mean, standard deviation, and so on. Okay, so we will start with my height, which is 180 centimeters. Yes, I am tall. So if the question said, what percentage of the population is shorter than you, and what percent of the population is taller than you. First, I would get the z-score formula right here, and then I would put my height in for the x value minus the mean height and divided by the standard deviation. So I get 16.2 divided by 9.7, which is 1.67. So now I have to go and look up that z-score. So I go to my z-score table and I find 1.6 and I'm looking for 7 right here. 1.67. So see the 7 is right here. So 1.67 is 0.4525. And if you look at this picture up here, this z-score, which is 0.4525, is telling me that 45% of the population is below me, between me, which is the z here, and the mean. So I still have to add to that the other 50%, which is below the mean. So when I go back to my word problem here, here's the value I found in the z-score table, and I'm adding 50% to that, and I get 0.9525. This is because the z-score is positive. So if I look, positive z-scores over here, negative z-scores are over here. So it was positive, so I had to add this 50% over here. So once I get that 0.9525, that means that I'm taller than 95.25% of the population, and then I would do 100% minus that to figure out that I'm shorter than 4.75% of the population. Okay, now let's do an example where the z-score is negative, so you can see what I mean. So let's say the length of my hand was 16.9 centimeters. I would put that in for my data value minus the mean divided by standard deviation, so I get negative 0.33. So if I look up, there's no negatives in my table, so really I'm just going to look up 0.33 in my z-score table. So 0.33 right here is 0.1293. So it's 0.1293. Now, because it's negative, that means that my z-score is over here. So what it's giving me though is this area right here, which is the same as the area between my z-score and the mean. So what I want to do is, since I want to know, say my z-score is right, giving me this value right here, I want to know what's here. So I take this area and subtract it from 0.5. So I go 0.5 minus 0.1293, which is 37.07% of the population. So that means that my hand's bigger than that percent, and to find the complement, I would do like 100 minus 37.07. So my hand is smaller than 62.93% of the population. Okay, next type of question. What percentage of females have a hand width between 7 and 8 centimeters? So for this one, you have to find the z-score for 7 and the z-score for 8 separately. So here's my calculations for the z-score for 7. 7 minus the mean over the standard deviation, and I have a negative z-score of 0.29. Then I find the z-score for 8, and I have 0.43. So I'm going to do what I did before. So 0.29 in the table gives me 0.1141. So I'll show you the table again. 0.29, I'm ignoring that it's negative for now, just to look up the value. So 0.1141. And because it was a negative z-score, I go 0.5 minus. And then the other z-score of 0.43, looked it up, is 0.1664. And because that was a positive z-score, I'm going to add 0.5. And basically what these numbers are saying is that 38.59% of the population has, what are we working with here? Hand width below 7, and 66.6 have a hand width below 8. So to find that difference, find those people in between, I would go 0.664 minus the 0.3859 and get 0.2805. So 28% of females have a hand width between 7 and 8. Okay. That's a different kind of question. Was what would be the score to get the 95th percentile? Like, what would be your right foot length that would be in the 95th percentile? So we go backwards on this. So 95th percentile, by looking at my table, remember that the table only gives you the area between the z-score and the mean. So I'm actually not looking for 95 because that would be like the whole thing. I'm just looking for 45 because that would be the difference there. So I go in my table and I'm looking for 45. And okay, seeing some 45s. 45.91. I want to get close to 45 as possible. Here we are, 45.05. Now this is the same closeness, but we have to be in the 95s. So I'm looking for this one here, 0.4505. That corresponds to a z-score of 1.65. So we're going to say the z-score is 1.65, and then we're going to use the formula. So 1.65 is my z-score, the data value is what I'm looking for, minus the mean over the standard deviation. By the way, I'm getting this mean and standard deviation all the way from that table that you had that was given to you in the lesson. Okay, so from there it's just algebra. So I multiply both sides of the equation by 1.08. So I have 1.782 equals x minus 23.3. Add 23.3 to both sides, and I get 25.082 is x. So to have a foot length in the 95th percentile, your foot would need to be 25.082 centimeters long. Hope this helps you out.